Welcome to my ANC TV. My name is Sipokazi Sowazi. We are at the Media Center after Tatu Mandela's funeral. I'm now sitting with Minister Collins Chabane. He's the minister from the presidency. Welcome, Minister.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people paid tribute to Tatu Mandela at the funeral. What stood out for you?
For me, it is the anecdotes which were brought forward by the President of Tanzania, Comrade Kikwete, about our former president and also about the ANC in exile. It was quite moving to come and understand some of the small things which have made what the ANC is and the type of relationship it has built with the other liberation movements in the continent.
And Minister, what would you say you remember the most about Tatu Mandela?
President Mandela I worked with him at least from 1991 in the National Executive Committee until he retired. One of the things which was very quite outstanding about him in the National Executive Committee meeting was his ability to sit down and listen. After opening the meeting, he would then sit down and not speak a word until the end of the meeting when he has to close. Unless if there are issues which along the way he may need to intervene. But in most cases, he would reserve that to the end of the meeting rather than to be engaging in the debate and the discussions. And at that time, the officials themselves would not engage in the debate when the National Executive Committee is debating. They will sit down and listen and try to find a way to summarize the decisions which had been taken, which I thought it was quite a very revealing and educative process, because most of us, when we chair meetings, the temptation for us to participate in meetings, especially if we realize that the decision we may be taken might be contrary to what we think as leadership, we tend to intervene and talk too much in meetings ourselves to the extent that the ordinary members don't have a chance to express their opinion and actually guide the organization. That for me was quite an important lesson for the whole president. You know, he has got strong views on many things, but for him to sit the whole 3 days saying nothing, only to wait for the end when he has to summarize and close the meeting, it was quite a surprise for me.
Yes. Lastly, Minister, Tatu Mandela loved the children. What would be your message to the young people of South Africa today?
The young people of South Africa today, obviously, out of this excitement, a lot of them knew Madiba, but not that much. They just know Mandela was in prison, was a former president of the country. Some of them didn't even know that he was a former president of the ANC. Some didn't know that's a former commander-in-chief of the Umkhonto we Sizwe. Some didn't know he was a former commander-in-chief of the South African National Defence Force. Now, this period of 10 days, it was intense political education countrywide and internationally. A very intense political education process. And I think the best recipient of that is the young people. Quite a number of them who commented after having read the news, having went to look at TV, various channel stations, various radio stations and various commentaries. It was an intense national political education which took place in the past 10 days. I hope we should do it not only somebody has passed away, we should constantly do it, frequently do it. As a nation, let's discuss a particular topic, let's share ideas, because it was very important. I mean, every newspaper you open, every radio station you open, every television station you open, not only national ones, even international ones. There was a lot of the documentaries which were there about the former president, lots of them, various from all sorts of angles.
Yeah.
It was a very intense political education process. And I think the best beneficiaries of this process, as I said, is the young ones, because some of them, they were saying, you know, I never knew this. I never understood this. I never contextualized this. And for me, that was most important, that at least our young ones will now be interested in beginning to know their leaders, to know the politics, to know their organization, the ANC. Even when the ANC get bashed there by people,
Yeah.
at least they will have a sense to say, no, we know this now. You can't come and lie to us.
Yeah.
So it was helpful to that extent, which I think it was a great moment for South Africa. We must understand that this is the 10 days which gripped the world over. We were not alone in this. We were with the whole world completely up until the final moment. And for that, I think it's an important issue for us as a nation and as an organization.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chabane.
It's my pleasure.